I kind of want to begin this with a sort of a history lesson so that you know where I'm coming from musically. It started back in the 70s. It was totally my mother's fault. I was living with her at the time. And she was kind of a gypsy. For whatever reasons, I'll never know because I was far too young and I didn't need to know. What I did learn right off the bat was that music was everywhere. I mean, it didn't matter where you went, something was playing. And if you were out where music wasn't playing, nature was giving music. The birds, the crickets, little out of who knows what it was, and you put it together and it's music. So I learned early on that pleasing sonic sounds were a very good thing. It was a really good reward. Now, what I did know was that everywhere we went, my mother had this massive, massive stereo cabinet with the turntable on top. She had the headphones that were like 3 times the size of my head because, and a decent collection. I mean, she started me off listening to like Fleetwood Mac, the Moody Blues, the Eagles, Rod Stewart, John Denver. But my personal favorite was Gary Wright, the guy that brought us Dreamweaver. Fantastic album. So I used to like grab the headphones and I'd slap on one of her albums and lay there on the floor, and it was kind of a meditation as I listened to the entire albums. It was a focus. It was calming. Which back in the 70s, we didn't know what ADD was. And here's my mom, single woman, raising a male child. That poor thing. But she'd give me those headphones and I was a good boy. Move ahead a few years and I'm living with my dad. And, I'm the preppy listening to Top 40, which was basically bubblegum at the time, but still music. It was a good thing. It's okay to like music. It's okay to have your own tastes. Then as I got a little older, I started spending spring breaks and summers with my brother, who was this wicked drummer up in the Tampa Bay area. And for my 15th birthday, he gave me a cassette of Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. This music was just lurid. The licks were nasty. The groove was vicious. And it was a rabbit hole I was eager to go down. Within 6 months, I'm suddenly listening to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Megadeth, and enjoying every lick of it. But then I discovered my dad's album collection, which contained stuff like Blue Oyster Cult, Nazareth, Black Oak, Arkansas, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. Let me tell you, the moment I slipped on the Physical Graffiti album, I felt so dirty. It was like getting caught looking at a Playboy collection. These guys were it. Oh, hell. And I totally dug that. That was an interesting thing to find out, that even before the stuff I was listening to, there was something even darker, dirtier, and nastier. And I wanted that. Then I met my buddy James, JD. And he introduced me to the likes of Pink Floyd and other wonderfully psychedelic stuff. But being still young teens and guys, we were totally immature, and that was fine. That was fine. That was fine. But I got to admit to you, my very first guitar was a piece of plywood that I had cut out in the shape of a Strat, painted black, and strung with twine. Yeah. Yes, it was still an air guitar, but it was something you could hold. That would be the nerdy side of me. But from there, it led to the fact that I started joining garage bands. And while I didn't really have the confidence to carry through on it, it was a great experience. I had started off as a vocalist because that was the only instrument I could afford. It was a good place to go. Then a friend of mine, she was getting ready to move, and she had this pink Hondo Formula One, which is basically a Jackson knockoff. And she's like, I want you to take this because I know you'll appreciate it. And appreciate it I did. For a couple of weeks. Then I stripped the pink paint off it, took it down to the bare wood, slapped some stickers on it, and re-glossed it. And this was before the internet, so it was a really crappy job. But I kept that guitar for several years, and in my early 20s, I started learning how to play it. I was learning the cowboy chords. I was learning some of the theory behind it. I was doing really bad tabs off the internet that sort of taught me the songs that I wanted to play, but didn't quite get me there. Then, as I said in my acoustic video, I got an acoustic, and a couple months later, gave everything up. Now, maybe you've had some similar circumstances. You've got your hands on a guitar and the drive to want to play it, but maybe you don't know where to begin. Well, I'm hoping to get you in that front door. There are a ton of YouTube teachers out there that can get you going, and I recommend that you go ahead and look at as many as possible. Find the ones that speak the language that you can comprehend. That is the key. My goal is to maybe fill in some of those gaps that most don't speak about. Things that I wish I'd have known when I first started. Then maybe I would have never given up. That would have kept me playing. And might have made me a better guitarist at this point. A bag of tricks, so to speak. I do want to leave you with one final thought. I spent far too many years saying, I would love to learn how to do that. I really want to know how to do this. Well, stop putting it off. Start today. Start tomorrow. At least give it a shot. Maybe it's not for you, and that's fine. At least you'll know. The internet is a miraculous place. You can literally learn how to do anything. Just make sure that you're doing it for you. It's all about your joy. Thank you for joining me in this.